What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's 16 Yojo Daddy here. And this video is going to be a little bit different. We are going to be moving again pretty soon because I'm moving the boys to a private school here in Alabama for their basketball for their senior year. And they got fully scholarship, so we're going. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do probably 2-3 part video. But what I'm going to be showing in the video is what you see behind me and up above. But that's what's going to be here in this first video. I'm going to go shelf to shelf and talk about the collection. I am complete up to the time. Currently, what I don't have will be delivering soon to Wolf Den Collectibles in Gadsden, Alabama, my local toy shop. It's on East Broad Street if you ever get to the area. Great guy. Great shop, great prices. You want it, he can get it. So, stop by if you can. Got to give him a shout out. Love my dude. Wolfie, I appreciate everything you do for us. But, guys, I'm going to take you through a tour of my shelves before I have to take them down. That's the bad part. With the moving again, I do it often for sports for the kids, but it does entail a whole lot of crap taking these down, putting them back up, taking them down, putting them back up. And I'm not only just filming this for you, but I'm filming this for me. So I'll know how I had it set up before and what changes I might want to make. But I hope you enjoy this. You should be able to see every classified figure in this video up to this point, minus maybe a couple. But that being said, let's get on with it. I'm ready to show it off to you. Let's go, Yo Joe. And so here, starting out the top shelf, we've got the OG 13 of what we have so far. Got Zap there with the bazooka. Got Hawk back there. Or no, that's Grunt, my bad. And Steeler, looking good. I love these figures. And of course, we've got the OG Stalker. Sergeant Stalker is honestly probably one of my favorite characters in the line. Got another Micro Mini Snake Eyes Commando there to go with the Snake Eyes Commando. Got Scarlet back there, Scarlet O'Hara with her crossbow. And then we've got the Vamp with the MMS attached. Colonel Hawk leading the way. Then in the Vamp, we've got Breaker and Clutch. Got that American flag flying, because that's what it's all about. Got Short Fuse popping a frag. And then I know Breaker came with the Ram, but I'm sorry, the Ram belongs to the one and only Rock and Roll. And so we've got some blast effects coming off the back, and then I threw in the OG 13 picture off the Funko package. And then moving on to the Dragonfly. And I have Wild Bill in the back flying. And then our girl in the front there. I love this figure too. It made way for the Retro Scarlet. I think it's great. I think it was a good tier because it's something you don't usually want or searching for. But there's Crazy Legs back there with the screaming face that I swapped off the other Crazy Legs. Looks much better dangling from the winch there, mowing down the enemy as he comes down. I love the Dragonfly. Love what all it's got, all the blast effects it came with. That is a Fortnite parachute, I'm sure you know. Had an extra Duke Tiger Force, threw him on there. And then for my roadblock, I went with the OG look with the M60. And then took Night Force Ripcord and gave him one of the parachutes from the Halo jumpers. And of course, put old Airborne here, since really and truly he probably ought to be in the front cockpit. And then back there we've got Snow Job coming into the scene. Love that figure. But probably going to rearrange a lot of this when we get moved on to the next place. But man, that Dragonfly is something else. And I'm pretty sure I've still got batteries in it, which I'll probably pop out when we move. Yeah, you can see the display in there, lit up. Wild Bill on the side. Got the lights underneath, light on the front. Love this thing, man. It is a work of art. But I tried to go as OG as I could with it, because that's how I work. But that is the start of the OG13. And I'm filming all this because we are going to be moving soon. Got to move again for sports for the boys, for basketball mainly. I apologize for the dust. Don't have time to dust it right now with all we've got going on, because we're about to have to start packing up. But just wanted to give y'all a shot of my display, what I've kind of got going on, and what may change as we get down the road. But got to leave space for more to come, because we know we've got Grand Slam. We know we've got the Howl and Grand Slam. We've got Retro Flash coming. But yeah, I love it. And from there we move down to my Night Force, because Night Force came with the Dragonfly, so it seemed only logical that from those Night Force we'd go on into the others. This Beachhead, a lot of people complained about it, but my God, I think it's phenomenal. I love the camo patterns, and I love the sweater look. And yeah, those are some of the OG G.I. Joe cards that I've got up on the side there. Another Duke, that is the alternate version, alternate color scheme. And then we've got Shooter and Falcon. I pulled those pauldrons off Falcon. I like Shooter. I like her shoes. I wish I could find some Jordans for her, actually. Loving Night Force Tunnel Rat, Night Force Quick Kick. And anybody that doesn't like this Big Ben is just sick in the head, because that is one of the best classified figures out there. All right, so my apologies, little technical difficulties, but there we have Mr. Wolf Spider. Great first shot at a new character for Joe. We got Coral on the Ram, because once again in all the Action Force, she always was on the Ram, and went with the beret for her because she just looks better that way, and she did wear a beret often in the Battle Action comics. Now, in addition to my Night Force is this version of Snake Eyes Commando. Once again, this is a Dollar Tree Barbie joint that I repainted and repurposed for Night Force. It's not the greatest job in the world, but it'll do for me, and I like it. So that's what we went with. Shockwave back there, looking menacing. God, I love Joe. But also, this is my one Action Force piece. This is autographed by Bobby Valla. I won it on Figure Fight Club with Obby back in the day. And so it does go on display for sure. Then we've got more Joe cards here of the comic covers. Love it. But that's it for this shelf and the Night Force figures for now. Hoping to add Psych Out soon. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere down the line, Sneak Peek and Outback. That'd be nice. But we're going to move on down to the next from here. This is Night Force. All right, Alright guys, so moving on from Night Force, we've got another Joe shelf here, Joe cards. Way back there in the back, you got the Commando Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow O-Ring 2-pack. I like those on display there. But where it all began, 00 Snake Eyes, baby. And yeah, I do use stands a little bit here and there. And in fact, on my OG13 stands, a good friend of mine, Dave Bryant, printed those out and even printed a Snake Eyes Arashikage symbol for that. But guys, these figures are some of my favorites. These were the early ones. The ones that sometimes were harder to find than others. Sometimes were easier to find than others. We all remember how the line started. But most of the first wave are on this shelf. I need to move Spirit a little bit there. Oh, knocked off that, but that'll be all right. But of course, we got 00 Snake Eyes. Then we got the OG Duke back there. OG Gung Ho. Got that exclusive Storm Shadow, Arctic Storm Shadow, which really kind of just looks like the Ninja Force Storm Shadow, but I'd like a more accurate one. Loved this Stalker. Loved the way it looked. Like I said, Lorenzo's one of my favorite characters. Honestly, probably my favorite other than Flint and Snake Eyes. But, God, I love this Stalker. A lot of people had problems with this cover girl. I didn't. I always thought that the head sculpts on the Joes were ugly anyway. So, while it's not that bad of a face sculpt, it could have been a lot better. It really could have. But still, overall, I love this figure. Love the shotgun. This Spirit, though, is one of the best in the series, in my opinion. Again, just an opinion. But the way they did Freedom and the detail they put into Spirit. Got the OG Scarlet here. Looking right. I love this Scarlet. A lot of people had problems with it, but I thought it was really cool. Then back there we got Beachhead and the OG Roadblock. Actually, that is version 2 Roadblock, and I know why now. I had to think about it for a second. Then we got old Tripwire here. And what I did was I went with this option here because in Tiger Force I went the other way. But yeah, that's version 2 Roadblock back there. The second deco. But as always, more Joe cards when I can do them. Then on down to the next shelf. Got a few more Joe cards there. And this is my Cobra kind of throne room for now until we get Hooded Coco as the SDCC exclusive with the throne. I think it will replace this and I'll have to move Supreme Cobra Commander. I can't remember right now, but I'll have to move him somewhere else. But I've got the Valkyries guarding him because in Energon there's personal bodyguards, but me OG A-Ra, Storm Shadow was his personal bodyguard. And then of course we've got the Crimson Guards who were also meant to guard him. And out to the side we've got his OG troops. Got Major Blood and Firefly plotting and scheming back there, and that's the other Regal Cobra Commander that I still have in package. Got the Supreme Cobra Commander package and the, God, what was this exclusive? I can't remember. But anyways, you know these R10 color change exclusive. But yes, we've got the twins also standing guard watching. And Destro and Baroness back there plotting and scheming, I'm sure. You've got to love that OG Destro figure. It's just so cool. Baroness is a great figure. Looking back on these now, man, it's so much more to sit here and film them and to think just how good we had it and have had it and fortunately are continuing to have so far. And then down to the next, we've got these Dollar General mini statue cards with the Larry Hama card. Then we've got Flint and Jay, got Jinx, Big Lob, Shipwreck, Law and Order. Got the green shirts hanging out back there. Retro Beachhead. The Great Chuckles. I love this figure. Can't wait to see it in retro, maybe white shirt. And then, as you'll notice, my Falcon is not the OG Falcon face. I did do a head swap from the Falcon Night Force figure onto the head, and it just works perfectly. So I'm fully happy with that. But got OG Tunnel Rat back there, and the legend Hulk himself. And once again, using the back of the box, the staging area. And this is more of a movie type shelf because I've got Hulk, Flint, then we got Jinx, Tunnel Rat, Falcon, all the recruits, Law and Order. And then back there, their trainer, Beachhead. But I absolutely love this shelf and love what all it can represent. But these are such great figures, period. Especially this Big Lob. Finally, somebody that's actually tall as me in the line. I'm loving it, as opposed to little man back there. But we will go on down from here. All right, guys, on this shelf, I have Battle Armored Cobra Commander in front of the screen here. I use the box as an actual screen from Cobra Island, planning out the battle. This Pimp Daddy Destro, or Prophet Director Destro, whichever you want to call him, I actually picked up at a flea market and got him for $5. So couldn't pass up on that. My daughter actually bought my original Prophet Director Destro because she wanted it. So while I do use them in display, it is actually her Destro. She just loves that leopard cape and everything about that figure. But I've got two of the Frag Vipers. Got one on sale on clearance at Walmart. Went with the Cyborg mask on him and head sculpt. And then got this Frag Viper ready to toss a grenade back there. Got the OG Alley Viper. God, I love the colors on this. That dirty old son of a bitch Saw Viper killed all the Joes in the A-Raw issues. I picked up two of the Desert Scorpions. Love this figure. I think it's exceptional. I went with two different kit outs on him and both of the Scorpions there. And then, of course, we have Serpentor as the Iguana. Range Viper, ready to rock and roll. Then back here we have a Fortnite. I do not even remember what his name is, but he looks so much like Firefly that I just kind of use him as a acolyte of Firefly and does the dirty work for him. And then this Battle Armor Cobra Commander, I love it. Yes, it could have been a little bit more metallic, but as you can see, when light hits it, it still looks pretty good. That Range Viper was very hard to find. It's the only one I could find of it back in the day, and I'm not paying secondary price for much of nothing if I can help it. But guys, this is just another Cobra shelf, Cobra Trooper shelf, Cobra Viper shelf, whatever you want to call it. I think that's pretty cool. And then down here in the bottom, we've got Cold Slither. And got that garbage can from Dollar Tree. Of course, got the Springfield Theater box in the background. Arcade machine back over there. And the man singing with Cold Slither, the notorious one, the notorious B.I.G., baby. Greatest rapper of all time. Yes, his library is small, but he did not live long enough to do anything different. Got Zartan, Willy Willy, wow. Once again, I apologize for the dust. Got Buzzer ripping it up there. Torch, which I still think they should have gone with a flame effect out the end of that guitar or keytar. And then we had Ripper standing on one leg. My boys are very good at doing that, but over time the ankle rocker gets a little weak while he's standing on one leg, jamming out. So I've just kind of got him there for now, but I'll probably put him back to one leg once we get moved. But that's it for this shelf. And I do love this Cold Slither set, and I love even more that I've got Notorious. It's almost like we're watching him rap to the All About the Benjamins rock remix. I can hear it in my head now. But I love it. And that is it for Cold Slither, baby. I think it's one of the most fantastic SDCC exclusives that we've had. Hell, I love everything, Joe. I ain't gonna lie. But this was just out of this world. I had more fun playing with this and positioning them and rearranging them than I have any other set. And I just think they're great. But to have Biggie there with them, I'll take it any day of the week. All right, so we're going to hit this next shelf. And this is another Cobra shelf. Some Vipers, Big Boa. Love that Techno Viper with the readout. Just a great figure. Can't wait to get the retro, see how it looks. This is also my Mole Rat shelf, which we've got a stage 1 looking kind of normal there. Stage 2, slightly zombified, starting to lose its ability to reason. And then stage 2, completely messed up. Can't even hold the gun upright, wrist broken. Then we've got Big Boa here. And I do have a little bit of a theory for the color change. The Dr. Mindbender has always come up with crazy stuff. So in my lore, as the exposure gets worse, you can still kind of function here, but your whole suit color changes to let the people around you know that you are now a hazard to be avoided. But then we've got Big Boa. Love this figure. Totally epic. Don't want the other head sculpt, though. This is the way Big Boa needs to look for me. Night Viper is perfect. That the night vision scope, I was afraid it was going to be too big, but it's not. It's perfect. That was the one thing I didn't like about the OG character, was that long night vision that he had. And then we've got the Ferret and the Ferret Driver. And we've got Regal Cobra Commander riding on the back. And we've got a bat here supporting. Then we have some cards from the compendium set there. And we have some more over here from the compendium set, card set. Got issue 33 back there. And then we've also got Retro Mindbender. I never opened him because I've already got a Mindbender open. I didn't need another one, and he looks pretty cool sitting back there. But that's my second Regal Cobra Commander. I've got one that is still in the box, and we'll take a look at that later on as we continue to tour the shelves of the complete classified collection thus far. And next shelf up is what I call my Sunbow shelf. Yes, I have A-Raw number 1 back there. Once a Man box. More of the compendium cards on both sides. But as you can see, we've got the Mastifies figures, including these great looking ketchup and mustard divers. We've got the Breaker Mastivice. Back here in the back, you got Snake Eyes from the Mastivice. And of course, that massive, good looking polar bear. And I've got him standing on his hind legs, so Snake Eyes is ready to pop him. We know that wouldn't have happened in the show, but then we move on to the Cobra Law because we've got Once a Man Coco, Pythona in all her glory, with her accessories there. The little other pack that comes with Nemesis as a creature, Royal Guard. I've got another one on the way. Oh, Billy Bad Butt himself, Nemesis Enforcer. And Once a Man becoming the snake on Roadblock, and I used the original version Roadblock to do that. But that's my Sunbow shelf, and we will move on. And coming on down, we've got the original Navy Cobra Commander, which I love this figure. I think it was a great classified figure. I never have many complaints about Cobra Commanders, as long as they're well done, and this was well done. It is one of my faves. As far as the background, we have one of my absolute favorite issues, 45, where Zartan and Ripcord attack each other, both end up wounded and taking each other's place. And the epic issue 38, where Destro and Storm Shadow face off on the cover. But we have, well, there's the katana there, just to let you know I do have a katana. But we've got the second version of Major Blood with the red highlights, and I love it. I think it's a good upgrade from the original, although the original is probably one of the best figures in the classified line. I got two of these Cobra Defense modules. I think they're great. I'm sorry, I know people call them porta potties, but man, they are not that far off from the play sets we got as a kid. Got Cobra Commander up there, boasting himself. And then here we've got two of the Trench Vipers standing guard and ready to go. Right behind their sandbags. And that's one of my favorite parts of these sets is the sandbags. They look so good. Don't have anybody actually in the post right now, but that's okay. They're just all kind of outside doing their guard duties. But I love these figures. Love the defense post. Just a great set. But down below that, I have my 00 Snake Eyes box and my Serpentor box. Sorry again for the dust. But I also have what I call my desert team. When Dusty was at Ollie's, I kind of stacked up on him. I got one there injured with the steel core head on. And then got Doc over here working on him, shooting a flare, bringing in the Dragonfly to get him picked up. Got Dusty Rudat. And then I had another Dusty here that I popped the head off of, and I put a extra Kamakura head on. And then, of course, Desert Snake Eyes. A lot of people complain about this figure. I'm sorry, but I think that's an excellent looking figure. I don't care what they say. Doc's amazing. Dusty's amazing. Desert Troops, I'm not hearing anything about them coming anytime soon, so I'm cool with what we've got. But then we've got Spirit and Y'all in the Mad Marauders, because this is also a Mad Marauder shelf. Got the old Sarge with his minifigure. Mr. Barbecue and Mr. Lowlight. Looking great in these colors. I like Mad Marauders. I'd actually would rather refer to them as Slaughter's Marauders. I didn't have them as a kid other than Mutt and Junkyard, which is not out yet. But guys, wouldn't it be really nice to get a Mutt and Junkyard and Footloose 2-pack in Mad Marauders? Man, that'd be awesome if that happened before the end of 2026. Just saying, that'd be cool. But like I said earlier, I know there's rumors going around about the Desert Forces. I have not heard or seen anything on any of the line plans to that effect, but if that changes, I'll definitely let you know. But guys, I love it. And we will move on to the next shelf. All right, so this is a little bit more random of a shelf, but love that mainframe figure back there. Height does not matter on that one to me. But the shelf does include my figure of the year for 2025, Dial Tone himself. Yes, I know a lot of people probably disagree with me, but that figure is perfection in art. But best face sculpt just about in the line goes to this cover girl right here. The face sculpt on this one is everything the first one should have been and more. Great figure. Absolutely love it. Love the hat. And then back here we've got, I took a, can't remember who it was out of Marvel MCU. Popped a Duke head from Tiger Force on it. And I've got a suited CIA Duke. But then, of course, we've got the All-Striker, not one of my favorite vehicles in this line, but one of my favorite vehicles from G.I. Joe. And we've got Footloose, Man in the Gun, which is an epic figure in and of itself. Retro Gung Ho, which is so nostalgic. And then we've got Crankcase, of course, driving his All-Striker. And then we've got Recondo running the side door and checking the guns. And then out here to the side, just to hop off and make trouble, is Snake Eyes version 4 himself. One of my favorites. I don't care what any of you said. I love this Snake Eyes. I love paintball Snake Eyes. It was a fun figure then. It's even more fun now. And then moving on down, well, let's look real quick. We got issue 5, Tanks for the Memories, and 46, the beginning of the origin of Who Killed the Hardmaster, Revenge. Then down here, we've got the Televiper, the Stinger with the Stinger driver driving, and the OG Viper in the passenger seat, ready to do damage. Got the Retro Bat here with his little laser firing. And back there, we have the indomitable Grim Viper and his big-ass chain gun. And then two of the, I want to say both of those are, let's see, AliExpress. And they're just got slight paint variation that wasn't done well on the face a little bit. But you cannot tell from a distance. And back there we've got issue 24 with Cobra Commander flying off on the claw. And we have Cold Slither number 1. Also, we have an Iranian, because with gas prices this high, my God, go ahead and bomb them and get it over with so that we can get the Strait opened up and get gas back to normal, please. Nah, it's just fun, man. I back America. I don't care what anybody says. I back the good old US of A in whatever we're doing. And if that's what it takes, it's what it takes. But that's as far as I'm going on politics, is just a patriot. And down here we've got the OG Retro Flint. And this figure is so badass. I did not have the original Flint as a child. So to get this was very, very must-have for me. Then we've got Retro Lady J back there. Old Leatherneck himself with his buddy Wetsuit. Got Barbecue hanging out. Lifeline. Sci-Fi back there. Got Retro Duke. Alpine and his buddy Bazooka. And then their other buddy Quick Kick. As well as issues 26 and 27. Two of the most quintessential issues for Snake Eyes fans out of the A-Raw line. But just quick funny story on this Flint. They never, out of all the figures, they had everybody but this figure at Walmart in my hometown as a kid. And it wasn't until Tiger Force Flint came out that I ever actually got to have a Flint. So this Flint really does mean a lot to me. And I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I absolutely love it. But that Wetsuit, that is some next level stuff right there. Hell, they all are in their own way, but that wetsuit especially, Bazooka was great, Alpine was great. This whole shelf, just great figures. All right, and we will move on from here. All right, guys, so this shelf is going to be my snow shelf. And for right now, it's just Cobra guys, but we know we've got more snow troopers coming. So I use the A-Ra issue 322 in the background just because I love that snow cover. Now, originally I just had the Snow Serpent Deluxe. Love this figure. I love the wolf cape. I think it's cool as crap. Love the detail on the Snow Serpent. And then I went ahead and when they went to Ross, I started stocking up on what Snow Serpents I could find, OG. And yes, 2 of them I've got the guns that they came with, but this one, even though it doesn't have the original tennis racket snowshoes, I am loving this figure. Threw a AK-47 on him there, like the original had. Love it. And then this was my original Arctic Bat that I was lucky enough to get off Pulse back in the day. And then, even luckier, I had this one show up at Wolf Den Toys and Collectibles on Broad Street in Gadsden, Alabama, my local toy shop, and got a really good deal on him because he had just come in on a trade. And so I've got 2 of the Arctic Bats, and yes, they're hard to find, but I'm glad to have what I have. Love snow themed figures, period. I did live in Ohio for 3 years and Canada for 3 years, so I did get to play with my toys as a young child. Even though I was from the South, I did get to enjoy the joys of playing with figures in the snow. And of course, just another comic book I threw back in there, the iconic issue 53 cover, the Snake Eyes cover. But as we move down from here, we've got 2 of my favorite issues in the background. We got 51 and 52. These were among some of the first I was able to buy off the comic rack. Earlier issues I picked up at yard sales. I don't know if I've said this much on here, but my grandmother, who was my best friend, was a yard selling freak, and so she got me figures, accessories, vehicles, whatever. I mean, it was crazy. That's how most of my Joe collection and Star Wars collection were built as a child. But this is my steel core shelf. Love the one that comes with the defense post. I like the defense posts, but once again, I apologize for the dust, but we are going to be moving soon, so I'm not going to do too much more work here, and I'm going to have to be taking these down. But the original female and male pack, I believe, were the best, other than this one. I am loving this figure here, loving this version of Steel Core. I think it's amazing. But the canoe that I have that Steel Core in is actually a Dollar Tree special. It's in the Barbie section, and then I just painted it and went with it from there. And then, of course, at Ross, my kids found the G.I. Joe wallet for a present for me. So I've got it on display for now because I really think, as flimsy as it is, it'd probably tear up if I used it. But I've also got my second pack of Coral and Falcon, but I put their steel core heads on and changed them up a little bit. Love these figures. Love the Commander. Love both versions of the helmet. I bought 2 packs of those as well. And that is my steel core shelf for now. But like I said, we're going to be changing things up after we move. So we'll move on to the next one. All right, guys. So that's part 1. I did the shelves behind me. Part 2 is going to be the 3 other sets of shelves I've got across the room from me. And then part 3 will be my miscellaneous shelves and maybe a shot of some other parts of my collection that aren't too impressive, but could all go together. I don't know that I'll be doing the Motu again, because I already did a video on that. If you'd like to, go back and check it out. But guys, if you will, please smash that like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and turn it on for all notifications for upcoming future content. I thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. If you've got anything to say, comment down below. I'll be glad to respond. And if you can, share these videos with like-minded individuals that love the same things we love. And as always, and forever, Yo Joe!